What's up, YouTube? So I want to talk about the musical artist Normani. Some of you may know who she is. Some of you may not know who she is. I'm not extremely familiar with her, but I do know of her. And, I have known of her for a while. All right. But basically, Normani, she is a young black slash African American female artist who originated in the group Fifth Harmony, and that the group Fifth Harmony originated from the X Factor, I believe. And pretty much Normani has gone solo. The group disbanded and everyone went their separate ways, as far as I know. But I wanted to come through and talk about kind of like Normani and her situation within the music industry, as well as just darker skinned black female musical artist situation within the music industry. All right. And just give my personal take on it. This is going to be pretty much more or less a rant, honestly. I'm just going off the top of my head here. But I will say, I saw the music video that Normani released for her song called Waves. So I listened to the song and the music video, and I was like, well, the song didn't really catch me. Honestly, I think that the song is a bit too, quote unquote, different for pop radio. So I don't think she's going to be getting much play on pop radio stations. She may be able to get play on, say, R&B stations, perhaps. Yeah, the song has like an R&B vibe with it. A little, I guess, perhaps they call this like deconstructed R&B, perhaps. I'll just say it's R&B, but R&B with a bit of an alternative tone to it, if you will. A bit like R&B, but a little different. So I saw the video and listened to the song and whatnot. And again, the song didn't really catch me. I really think this is a song that probably should have been a filler track on the album. Perhaps even like a bonus extra that they throw to Japan. I don't think this was a good song to release to the public, as far as like, okay, this is a song that I'm trying to, come through with, hit the top of the charts, carve out my territory, if you will. I don't think that this was the song. And again, I think it's a bit too different for mainstream radio for it to pick up and to really hit. And to be fair, I will admit that there is a bias, unfortunately, that there seems to be a bias that sometimes, on occasions, spoken of, but usually it's an unspoken bias for women like Normani. Basically women who are of a darker skin tone, right? Where you don't really get to see them as much in the entertainment industry for one reason or another. Of course, we all know about that whole Don Richard situation, right? I think some music executive saying that basically she was too dark to like have a music career or to be in the music industry or to be a musical artist or something like that. And, that's terrible. And I don't know who it came from as far as like the race is concerned. I'm thinking it may have probably came from a black man. I'm not sure though. So so we can say that there is a lot going against young women like Normani in the music industry. All right. However, I really think in this particular situation, I feel like that is a factor, but there are other factors as well. Again, one, the song. The song ain't really hitting like it should be hitting for a mainstream pop song to be a #1 hit or to be a top 10 hit on the radio. It, you know, and the thing is, because Normani has so many, well, not so many, but has like things working against her, as does everybody, but you know, the bias that she has to deal with, I don't think at this particular moment she can afford to really go against the grain all that much. And if she does go against the grain, I think that it really has to be something innovative and something that's catchy and that really uh, makes you want to hear the song again and again and again. It has a lot of replay value. For me, the song was okay. It's all right. The music video, I'll say that Normani looks good in the music video. I say my favorite look would probably be her with like the braids, the micro braid look. I thought that was a really nice, beautiful look. And the music video is a little different too, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Um, But one thing I do want to kind of speak on that really I think goes over people's heads, particularly black people's heads and black women's heads, is okay. In the music video, Normani has a featured artist. I think his name is Black or Six Lack or I don't know. He's a rapper. I don't, really know about the dude, but his name is spelled the number 6 and then Lack. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be Black, but just a different spelling. So she has this dude in the music video. And a lot of times when it comes to like black female artists, particularly brown skin and dark skin black female artists, oftentimes they will use love interests who are black men, which isn't black men with the same phenotype as them, which on the surface you're like, well, of course, they're black women. Wouldn't they that would be a good thing for them to do? That's probably the guys that they're interested in, this, that, and the third, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, but as far as like marketability is concerned, honestly, I think she should have jumped on this, mighty morphin, racially ambiguous Negro train here and got herself like a racially ambiguous Negro as the feature / love interest in this song and music video. I think that perhaps would work better for her in terms of marketing. Because, I think when it comes to black females in general, really, oftentimes there's like, oh, an assumption that she isn't interested in non-black men or probably even non-black adjacent men, right? So it's like perhaps that could be a deterrent for people. Perhaps that could make people, particularly men in this case, and probably perhaps this could affect women too, to a lesser extent. But as far as men, make them a bit like, well, should I waste my time? Because people like the fantasy. People like the fantasy, right? And I know that doesn't apply to like every single situation, but I think that may be somewhat of a factor that people don't want to address, right? I think a factor that goes over people's heads, so to say. All right. And with all that being said, at this particular moment in time, I don't really see it happening for Normani. It's not that she's not talented. It's not that she doesn't look good. It's not that she doesn't, um, you know, have what it takes. Because I think she does. I just think that what's lacking perhaps is an X factor, which is ironic because she came to the public's attention through the show X Factor. So a little ironic, but I think that could be a factor, is that she doesn't have the X factor. right? And as well, perhaps she just, again, the bias, right? Having a look that perhaps isn't as marketable as, say, a Cardi B, you know, or and really, I don't really see that many light skinned chicks really popping in the music industry at this point. I mean, you got Beyonce and Rihanna. They're like the top two chicks, right? Alicia Keys, I kind of feel like she fell off, honestly. Um, then you have like Tina Shea in her struggle career. Zendaya, I think she's more into acting than music. Um, then it's like Ella May. I think she's like one of the latest folks to come in. Her song "Booed Up" or whatever. And then Queen Naija, I guess. Again, I don't really see these women being really all that hyped up. Oh yeah, and then you got Cardi B. She's a rapper. Um, and I feel like Nicki Minaj fell off. So really, you got Beyonce, Rihanna, and Cardi B at the moment. You know, not to say that it's not appreciated. That's not anything or that's not worth anything. But I'm just saying I don't see really the light skinned chicks popping off as much as you may think they are. You know, and the same with black folks in general. I think. But I will say that I think that brown skin and dark skinned women have it the worst. I'll say that though. But again, like I said, I don't really see it happening for Normani right at this moment. I could be wrong, to be, you know, back, years ago, Kelly Catrone said that she didn't see it happening for Lady Gaga. Well, we all know what happened with Lady Gaga. So, um, things can happen for people, right? It can happen. But at this moment, I just don't see it happening. I just think that perhaps Normani and her people just kind of need to have talk with each other and also kind of do some research because I really wish I could be in on some of these meetings and give my input because I could definitely do, give some good input in situations like this. I mean, I'm not acting like or trying to portray myself to be like some, music mogul or some business mogul or some marketing guru or whatnot. But I think I know what works in certain situations. I'll say that. You know, and to jump back right quick to that whole situation that I talked about with Normani, perhaps she should be using a more racially ambiguous love interest in her music video. For the folks who in their feelings, fall back and shut up about that. Um, these dark skinned dudes and brown skinned dudes in the music industry have been doing that for a while as a marketing technique. I'm just saying that Normani, as well as other brown skinned and dark skinned women, need to peep game. Oh, musical artists anyway, need to peep game and just say, maybe I should like jump on this, racially ambiguous train for a second and see where it takes me. If it works out and is good, keep on, stay on the train. If it don't work for you, simply get off the train, right? Jumping back to the music video, though, you know, I think that Normani, I think she has, you know, a natural sense of rhythm and good dance moves. I would expect nothing less from a black woman. All right. Um, However, some of these dance moves were a bit more like interpretive dance and ballet, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think in situations like this, because Normani is trying to appeal to a certain audience for success, perhaps, I think this perhaps should have just waited until she was more established. You know, honestly, I think for Normani, like I saw her perform a little bit for like a Janet Jackson tribute, So perhaps maybe Normani and her team could come up with like a really, fast paced, banging dance track and have Normani really go all out with the dance moves. You know, somewhat, reminiscent of like say a Sierra or a Janet Jackson. The dance queens, right? The females who are really dance oriented. Your Janet Jacksons, your Paula Abduls, your Jennifer Lopez's, your Britney Spears's, um, you know, again, Sierra as well. Aaliyah was probably, I could say, she was probably one of those too. Perhaps something like that, because that she has a good. I think she could probably do the dancing. I think that could be a good lane for her to go down. Because right now we really don't have any like choreography like driven female artists. I don't think at the moment who are really like um, really into the dancing and the dance moves and all that stuff. I think there's a bit of a drought right now, right? And also a bit off topic, but yeah, I did see that whole Jennifer Lopez Motown tribute, and I was just kind of like, where did this kind of just came out of left field for me, and it just didn't make sense. When I think of Motown, I don't think of Jennifer Lopez as far as somebody being influenced by Motown. I don't really get that feel from her. You know, they would have been just better off letting Beyonce do it. I think that. I know some people probably would have had issues with Beyonce doing it too, but that would have probably made more sense, though. I could see Beyonce having more of an influence, a Motown influence than Jennifer Lopez, right? And it kind of came off more so as like karaoke a little bit. Karaoke and cabaret dancing, you know. For me personally, that's just my opinion, But yeah, I just thought the whole situation with that was just like, oh, so that's what we're doing now. It's like, could we not find anybody else to do this? Anybody else that know? Heck, Rihanna even. Although that would be, I wonder how that would have turned out. I mean, I like Rihanna, don't get me wrong, but that would have been a bit weird too. And then she like remixed it with her own songs too. And so she'd be singing like Supreme songs like, Baby Love and Stop in the Name of Love. And then she remixing it coming like, bitch better have my money. But yeah, I don't want to go on for too long though. I just wanted to come through and, give my thoughts and opinions about this situation. A bit of a rant, bit of perhaps even a bit of a ramble even. But yeah, I feel like I'm optimistic about this situation. I do feel like it is possible for a brown skinned and dark skinned female to break in and have major success in the music industry on the level of, say, a Rihanna or a Beyonce. But I just think that something isn't hitting the mark for people, I think. And again, we all know about the bias, so I think that's a part of it. But I don't think that's completely the whole story. Um, I do think it's a problem when it comes to marketing. I'm not even sure if they know how to really market, particularly brown skin and dark skin black females. I don't even know if people really know how to when it comes to music. I could be wrong. Um, but I'll put this out here. I think what could work for brown skin and dark skin black females is perhaps a female music group, right? Because usually when it comes to groups, people are more apt to support a musical group than a solo musical artist, because oftentimes you can identify with at least one person in the group, and then it kind of keep you drawn in, right? Usually folks have their favorite person in the group, right? It worked with, of course, like Destiny's Child, TLC, the Spice Girls, right? and just musical groups in general, right? And also, sidebar, y'all know TLC was supposed to be a group of light-skinned women only, right? TLC wasn't, like, Chili wasn't a part of the original lineup, as we know, right? I just, I feel like that kind of goes over people's heads too. Like, TLC was supposed to be a group of pretty much 3 light-skinned chicks, right? But one of them dropped out because they didn't want to sign the contract. And also, look who put the group together, Pebbles. And look, come on, right? But it all worked out in the end, right? But like I said, I think a musical group, say brown skin and dark skinned women, a musical group, perhaps like 4, maybe 5, like 4 to 5 brown skin, dark skinned women in a musical group, good looks, good talent, like really good talent, some good marketing, good songs. I really think that perhaps could work. I could see perhaps a musical group. And plus, we haven't really had any like musical groups in a while. It's been mostly like, well, you got the Migos, but I think musical groups have kind of gone off to the wayside for the moment. So perhaps that could work. Just some conjecture, some speculation, some brainstorming. But I'm done for the time being. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.